Hi guys, how's it going? I've literally just a bit confused. Just got wind that, of this interview here with frankwarren on Talksport, saying that Joseph Parker is now going to be fighting Lucas Browne. That is, I don't even know what to say about that. We know, quick background that last minute Joseph Parker signed a deal with Boxer at Sky, and and therefore wasn't going to be fighting Joe Joyce, which the boxing fraternity, myself included, and even some casual fans are deeply disappointed and on the brink of devastation because that I was entirely looking forward to that, especially after that cheeky wee interview. What's that guy's name? De- Devi Denny. I can't even remember his name, and he was like, "Oh, she's built to be like the best trash talk of all time," or something like that. The build up to this fight, just taking the piss. Like it was so funny. I think Park took a bit of offence to that, but Joyce was laughing it off a wee bit, got a wee face off of him. But anyway, getting back to this, just a bit confused. Why would Parker want to fight Lucas Browne? That is a massive step down. We know, you know, let's just say on the best end of the scale that Lucas Browne has been very fortunate in his last fight or so, and miraculously, unexplainable to me, he's got these wins, and I would say that's definitely going to be very short lived, especially if he fights Parker. So maybe the guys on that side are just wanting to get a massive or a big payday out of him before they finish up with him. But I'm very confused. Let's just listen to this a minute. This is frankwarren talking about the whole thing.
We're excited to be covering that here on Talksport. First and foremost, what happened with the fight with Josie Parker? Obviously, we were working towards that, but that's not materialised next up. What's happened?
Well, you need him. You need to ask him that question. You got him on later.
Yes.
We, as you know, at Tyson's last fight, him and Joe got together.
Yeah.
And we announced it that it was to be done, and Joe and we agreed terms. I shook hands with Joe in front of Tyson, and then we got the solicitors to work out and get the contracts, which took a long while, but eventually they got them done. And then I heard the day before it was announced that he'd signed a deal with Sky.
Yeah, signed a deal with Sky, Boxer. Very bizarre because we all knew that. Therefore, the fight wasn't going to happen. So, shattering news.
I heard about that, and I just sent him a text, which I'm reading now, on the 9th of June at 12:56, and I said to him, "Just been told the fight is off. So much for your handshake." And then he was in New Zealand, and then I got a text back at 21:33 saying, "Morning, Frank," because obviously it's morning in New Zealand. "Apologies, it took a while to get the deal done, but was offered a better deal last minute."
Oh, okay.
But now he's fighting Lucas Browne, and we're very underwhelmed by that. Exactly. That's the.
There we are from the horse's mouth. He's fighting Lucas Browne. Can't believe it, man. What is going on? That's going to be a shutout. Yes, Parker is a nice guy. That's how he comes across. And it's kind of shown in some of his fights, very frustrating fights where he's been off the gas, like for the Dillian White fight example. He could have taken Dillian White out easy. But just kind of just didn't do anything for 6-7 rounds. And it's just some of the fights just sat back. I thought the last Chisora fight, he really came forward and was showing a bit of that Kronk style and a bit of the coming with some beautiful uppercuts as well. And obviously still had to improve, but I was very impressed with what he was doing. So hearing now that he's taking a step back from Joe Joyce to do this, I mean, I don't think he would have beaten Joyce, or it'd been close. But I mean, to go back and fight a Lucas Browne who's what, must be mid-40s, pushing 50, washed up. I can't believe that.
I mean,
Problem. Yeah, that's the problem.
why wouldn't you fight a guy who's ranked number one to get that position? Lucas Browne and him. I mean, what possible interest that is to British boxing fans?
To be honest, I couldn't agree more with Frankwarren on this one. There is no interest, The interest with Joe Joyce and Joseph Parker. There's no. He's got a little bit of clout around him because he just knocked out Junior Fa, who Joseph Parker went the full 12 with. But sometimes that happens, I think he's been very fortunate, and no discredit to Lucas Browne, but for Joseph Parker to fight him, that is as a punch in the teeth to boxing fans. Really is.
None. And
let me just finish.
Yeah.
And even if he was offered a better deal, having agreed terms, somebody said to me, right, we've agreed, I'm paying you £100. I'd say, look, somebody's offered me 110 quid. Do you want to better it? At least do that. Nothing at all. He never wanted that fight. He never fancied it, and that's the bottom line. But you know what? Joe Joyce is the guy who's the manager in rank number one, not Parker. So we had, and remember when we made this fight, and they sodded us around for a while. It was originally going to take place next week, but if you recall what he said, or what they said about 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, that they didn't. That
I don't want to push on too much with that because I didn't. Again, I don't want to trigger the algorithm watching too much stuff and getting accused of this, that, and the next thing. But yeah, go and watch this. As soon as I finish this, I'm gonna watch the rest of this. Boxing promoter Frank Warren joined Talksport to discuss Fury, USA, and Joyce Parker and Anthony Yard. Unless he's got a slip of the tongue here, I'm very confused because I haven't got confirmation of this fight anywhere else. So if this is legit, I want to hear if anybody's got any background information on it, because this is sending shivers up my spine because I'm very concerned about what's actually going on at the minute. I hope British boxing, and I know none of those guys are British, but just hope it isn't going down the pan at the moment, because that would be devastating, to be honest. But I just don't understand that this is not 1 or 2 steps back for Joseph Parker. This is like, this is the kind of fight, if someone was coming up, they'd give him like their 4th, 5th fight, man. Genuinely. I mean, this is madness. But you guys let me know your thoughts in the comments. Remember, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And hopefully there'll be more information on this soon. So catch you guys in a bit. Cheers.